I installed hidden cameras at home and caught my wife cheating. A month later, he found out she'd had a nervous breakdown and had stopped taking care of their son. I'm a bit lost. It's been about 2 weeks since I found out about my wife's affair. I'd had suspicions for a while, a lot of red flags, but nothing concrete. I decided to ask her directly. Her reaction was strange. She flew into a rage. "How dare you accuse me of this? I would never cheat on you." That only convinced me more. I checked her phone and computer, found nothing, bought a few small cameras and placed them around the house, then went away for the weekend to visit friends. I grew up in Norway near the Swedish border. I met my wife in Sweden. I was 20, she was 21. She already had a 3-year-old son. We clicked quickly. For the past 11 years, I've been that boy's father. I love him deeply and consider him my own son. We've been married for 6 years, though now that no longer matters. I came back earlier than planned, when she definitely wasn't supposed to be home, and watched the footage. And yes, there she was, hooking up with another man. I recognized him. It was her colleague, Theodore. We were on good terms with him and his wife. I used to think eyes filled with blood was just a figure of speech, but I literally saw red in that moment. I'd never been so angry. I'm usually a calm person, rarely lose my temper. But this made me snap. I punched walls, slammed the bedroom door so hard it flew off the hinges and shattered the glass table in the living room. I bit the inside of my cheek and didn't even notice until I screamed and blood splattered the walls and floor. At some point, I hit my head hard, which sobered me up a bit. I looked at the wreck around me and realized I needed to leave immediately. If my wife had come home then, I would have ended up in jail. Best case for domestic violence, worst case for murder. I quickly packed a suitcase with essentials and grabbed my laptop. I work in simulations and modeling. I need a powerful computer. I sent a copy of the video to Theodore's wife with the message, "Your husband is cheating on you with my wife." I met my son outside our home, hugged him, and told him I'd always love him. But his mother cheated, and I had to leave. I really regret saying that. He shouldn't have had to carry that burden. But I wasn't myself, and it just slipped out. I drove toward the border to get to my family in Norway, but because of the pandemic, I wasn't let in. I rented a cheap Airbnb apartment. I'm working, but I feel like a zombie. I haven't talked to my wife. The only person I respond to is my son. He asks questions, and I try to be as honest as I can. I tell him I don't know what's going to happen, but divorce is certain. I'm trying to find a good lawyer. I haven't responded to any of her relatives. As far as I know, only my parents know about this. I'm avoiding friends because they're also friends with my wife. So I'm basically on my own now. I'm afraid that if I see her or speak to her, I'll snap and do something I'll regret for the rest of my life. I also don't want to lose contact with my son, but I don't even know where to begin. I'm still boiling with rage, and I have no idea how to deal with it. I need to respond to my wife at some point, but I'm so angry that I won't be rational. I just needed to write this down, hoping it would help. So far, it hasn't helped at all. First update, I feel better now. I even went to an MMA gym. I want to be clear. I don't know how to fight, and I'm not in great shape. I fought a few times when I was younger and always got badly beaten. I talked to the guys at the gym, explained my situation. They were really friendly and wanted to help. First, they made me train non-stop for 2 hours. When that didn't calm me down, they put me in the ring with a very experienced fighter. It was clear he was being very careful with me. I did everything I could but couldn't put up a real fight. He clearly let me land a few weak punches and kicks, but easily blocked everything else. A few times I managed to hit him lightly, and he would gently strike back. Since I don't know how to fight, even his light punches shook me up. He kept checking if I was okay before continuing. He even apologized once or twice for hitting me harder than intended. Imagine that, apologizing for hitting an opponent in a fight. He clearly didn't see me as a threat and probably never will. I now truly admire people who can fight, and I've decided to learn. These guys are the calmest people I've ever met. I want to become just as balanced. That little fight helped me a lot. It really reduced my anger. I'm still angry, but not uncontrollably. I can manage it now. I'll keep going back, training, and getting beaten up. But I still don't trust myself enough to meet my wife. I talked to my son and told him that no matter what, we'll be okay. He is my son, and that doesn't depend on my relationship with his mother. I think it was important for him to hear that. I also spoke to some mutual friends and her parents. Apparently, my wife has completely lost it. She's calling everyone, day and night, confessing to what happened, and even offering money to people who help her get in touch with me. I plan to only communicate through a lawyer, but it's expensive. So I asked my cousin to act as a mediator. I gave her a few questions for my wife. We'll see what comes of it. Next week, I also plan to talk to the wife of her lover. Some commenters strongly suggested I talk to my wife and tell her that if she lets me adopt my son, I'll consider reconciliation. But I'd never do that. I'll never use my son as leverage. Never. Right now, I really would like to adopt him. But only if he asks me, and only when I'm sure it's truly his decision and that no one pressured him. I think I'll get through this. I've received so much good advice here that I finally feel like I have a plan for what to do next. Second update. Sorry I didn't post for a while. After the last post, a lot of things happened. I got a lot of messages. So it's easier to just write a general update. I started calling my son twice a day. He always said he was fine, but I suspected he wasn't. I tried to pull myself together, went to individual therapy. It helped a little, but what really changed things was boxing. The first gym I went to was dirty and run down, but the 5 guys training there were tight-knit, and I really wanted to be part of their group. They told me I had to talk to the old man who owned the club. He decided who got in and who didn't. Everyone clearly respected him, so I was nervous. Let's just say the old man had a tough personality. At first, he just listened. But when he spoke, I started getting defensive fast. Hard to explain. Everything he said was true. Maybe that's what pissed me off, or maybe it was the tone, like every question was an accusation. The old man made me feel unworthy of being in his club. Suddenly, I found myself arguing with him, trying to prove I was good enough. I still don't know if he's just a jerk or a genius. But either way, he's had a really positive impact on my life, even if it's super uncomfortable to be around him. I'm starting to understand why people respect him so much. He helped me identify the root of my anger and taught me to think more clearly. That's a whole story in itself, and this text is already long, so back to the point. A few days after my post, about 20 minutes after one of our regular calls, my son called me back. He was crying and apologizing for lying when he said everything was okay. He told me his mom just sits in front of the TV, staring blankly, even when it's off. There's no food at home, and the place stinks. For the past 2 days, he'd only eaten a few sandwiches that a friend's mom gave him during a visit. Of course, I rushed home. The smell of rotten garbage was already in the hallway before I even opened the door. The place was a total mess. Clearly, no one had cleaned since I left nearly a month ago. The floors were covered in crumpled papers, the sink piled with dirty dishes, broken glass on the floor. The smell of rot was nauseating. I went to my son first. On the way, I'd grabbed him a burger. I told him to stay in his room and eat while I talked to his mom. Promised him everything would be okay now, that I'm home and I'll take care of things. He cried and hugged me tight before I went to check on his mother. That hug was so warm. I missed him terribly. I'll never leave him again. My wife was just sitting and staring at the TV, exactly like my son described, but he didn't tell me how awful she looked. She had lost so much weight, looked like a skeleton with skin. Her eyes were sunken, dark circles underneath, skin pale and lifeless, lips cracked, hair dirty and matted. Her clothes were disgustingly filthy. I pulled up a chair and sat across from her, blocking the TV. The smell coming from her was unbearable. There was a bucket on the floor. Later, I learned it was half full of week-old vomit. I felt a deep pain and pity for her. I wanted to protect her, help her get clean. In that moment, I forgot what she'd done. Seeing her like that was unbearable. I think in some way I still love her and care about her, despite what she did. I'm a bit scared. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I didn't even know what to say to her. She clearly wasn't herself. She asked me if I was real. When I said yes, she burst into tears, in a way I'd never heard anyone cry before. Maybe howl would be a better word. It was so loud I actually flinched. Then, in the middle of her scream, she either fell asleep or lost consciousness. I put my Fitbit on her because I had no idea how to measure her pulse. It was jumping between 100 and 150 beats per minute. I figured that couldn't be a good sign. I gently laid her on the couch, wiped her face from tears and mucus, and ran to the neighbors for help. They agreed to look after our son while I took her to the hospital. She's been there for about 7 days now. Honestly, I've lost count. I visited her once, but she got so agitated seeing me that the doctors recommended I stay away for now. She hasn't been diagnosed yet, and the doctors don't know when or if she'll recover. Since then, I've focused entirely on caring for our son. He goes to therapy regularly, and it seems to be helping. There's no doubt this situation traumatized him. I'm suffocated by guilt for being the reason for his suffering. I've contacted a lawyer to seek custody. I don't know how that'll turn out yet. I've also prepared for divorce, but decided to hold off for now. The house took days to clean. I scrubbed the fridge with bleach, but it still smelled like rotten food, so I had to buy a new one. I also found that my wife had taken all my dirty clothes into the bed and arranged them into a body shape. She even crafted some anatomical details. It looked pretty creepy. I looked through her scattered paper notes all over the house, mostly incoherent rambling. Some pages have dates and times. It's hard to make sense of anything except for a few pages where she just wrote sorry over and over again. Almost every page ends in a squiggly line that trails off mid-sentence. I have no idea what to do next. My anger has completely passed, replaced by deep sadness. Sadness for the situation and the pain and trauma my son went through. I truly feel sorry for my wife. At the same time, I understand why I was angry, and I realize I've changed while trying to cope with this pain. I don't know if I have the strength to forgive. I'll keep working to rebuild my self-respect and sense of manhood. If my wife comes out of this state, I'll talk to her and then decide what to do. But right now, my son is my priority. I need to make sure he'll be okay. Sorry there's nothing exciting in my story like epic confrontations or revenge, like in others here. I'm just exhausted and sad. I truly don't know what to do next. Life used to seem simple and understandable. Now I don't see a single good way forward. Update 3. I have a few questions. Maybe you can help me see things from a different angle. If you want to comment, just divorce her already, don't waste your time. I'll ignore your message. I understand that in the end, the decision is mine alone, and I'll make the one that's right for me and my family, whatever that turns out to be. I barely sleep these days, so my thoughts may be a bit jumbled. Please understand. It really matters to me to hear different perspectives. It helps me sort things out inside. My wife is still in the hospital. She refuses to see anyone except her mother. Her only demand, besides no visitors, is that no one should speak to me on her behalf or try to pressure me. She admitted her infidelity to pretty much everyone, but without details. Her calls were panicked and went something like, "I cheated, he's going to leave me, what do I do?" So no one really bothers me unless I reach out for help or advice. She wrote me a letter a few days ago. Her mother gave it to me. It's very long, 32 pages. I'll try to summarize the main points. She asks for forgiveness for what she did to me, our son, and our family. She says she'll sign any papers I give her, even divorce documents, no questions asked. She also confessed that even before the physical cheating, she had a 2-month emotional affair online with another man. I had no idea about that, so I think she's being honest. Her confession is very detailed, and she gave me all her logins and passwords so I could verify everything. She openly admits that she was drawn to the attention and excitement, but doesn't understand how she let it go so far. I believe what she wrote is the truth. It's backed up by letters, messages, call logs, and other evidence. She also told me about a flash drive in one of her drawers. On it is her diary, which she's been writing for nearly 10 years. What I've read so far matches her letter exactly. She explained that the first emotional affair felt like a game, just light flirting, no sexual messages or meetings. It lasted until she felt a strong urge to message the guy again. That's when she abruptly cut off contact. Later, she couldn't find the strength to tell me about it, even though, according to her diary, she tried. When the main affair started, she was thrilled by the guy's attention, and her self-esteem skyrocketed. He's very handsome, model-level looks, and I've seen his wife in person. She's stunning, a solid 10, absolutely beautiful. My wife felt intoxicated by the attention of such a good-looking man, married to such a beautiful woman. It gave her a massive emotional boost. She felt special, like she had won somehow by attracting this man. She admits she knew it was wrong, but truly doesn't understand why she couldn't stop. She hates herself for losing control. From what I gather, the affair only turned physical when the guy started to lose interest. She used sex as a way to keep his attention. According to her diary, the intimacy with him was more of an unpleasant duty. She didn't enjoy it. She did it to get more attention, like a reward for him. Obviously, she felt guilty, especially at first, but eventually she learned to suppress the guilt. Naturally, we began to drift apart, and our relationship suffered. The physical side lasted about 4 weeks. They kissed and touched. They had sex 5 times. This is backed up by her diary, her confession, GPS data, and hotel receipts. You know the rest. Her letter ends with the following: I don't know who that woman was who had the affair, or at least I don't recognize her. I don't understand how I betrayed my values and morals so easily and hurt the people I loved most. I don't know why I couldn't stop myself. I won't insult you by asking you to understand or forgive me. I don't deserve either. My only hope is to help you and our son heal. I'll do whatever you ask. No questions. No resistance. Anything you believe might help, no matter how small or big. When I'm discharged, I'll move in with my mom. I'll stay away unless you ask me to come back. I don't want my presence to remind you both of the pain I caused. I don't have words to express how sorry I am. More than anything, I want you to heal and meet someone worthy of your love, someone who'll make you happy. I pray I haven't taken away your ability to trust and love someone who deserves it. I'll never be with anyone else again, because clearly I'm not safe to be with. I'll see a psychologist and try to understand what's wrong with me. Maybe one day I'll heal, but right now, I don't know who I am or why I couldn't stop myself. I knew what I was doing was wrong, that I was hurting everyone, including myself. But I kept doing it. I was selfish and caused all this pain just to feel good for a moment. When I saw the pain on your face on that security camera footage, the horrible, gut-wrenching pain as you watched the video of me with another man, that's when I realized how blind I had been, how awful and cruel I'd become. I'm afraid I can't be forgiven. I'll always love you. I wish I could undo it all and go back, but I can't. Forgive me. I sobbed reading her letter, and now I truly don't know what to do. I didn't sleep all night, just reread it over and over. Now I'm emotionally drained, confused, and at a loss. I rewatched the video. Then I watched the footage of myself breaking down. I don't even understand some of the moments on the recording. Watching what my wife did is unbearably painful, but I keep watching it again and again. I can't stop. Even scarier is watching my own madness, but I keep watching that too. Again and again. from beginning to end. I try to forget, to put it away, but after an hour or two, I come back to it. It hurts me. I don't know why I do this. One more question. Is it really possible, like my wife says, that someone can get so caught up in an affair that their behavior becomes impulsive, that it stops being a conscious choice? If there are any women here who have cheated on their husbands, please share your experience. From her journals, it's clear that about 3 years ago, after the death of her beloved aunt, she fell into depression. Since then, her outlook on life has become very bleak, almost hopeless. I've read other stories where depression led to drastic personality changes and became the cause of infidelity. I'd be grateful for any thoughts on this topic. It's absolutely clear that she never loved these men. She enjoyed the feeling of being desired, the boost to her self-esteem, the adrenaline from hearing exactly what she wanted to hear. On the day everything came to light, my wife completely cut off contact with her lover and called his wife herself to tell her about the affair. I know this because the lover's wife told me when we met. By the way, she offered to sleep with me for revenge. She was obsessed with the idea, wanted to get back at him as if that would change anything. But aside from her appearance, she's probably the most annoying woman I've ever met. Of course, there will be no revenge. I'll never meet with her again. Never. I don't know what to do next. I can't sleep. I can't think. I really need help. Update 4. I'm very grateful to everyone on this forum. Thanks to you, I've managed to get some bearings in all this chaos. I'm feeling a bit better now. I feel like I'm regaining control of the situation. I tried to meet with my wife. She still refuses to see me, and her mother continues to act as a mediator. I tried to remind her of her promise in a letter, that she would do anything if it helped. Her mother passed on my message that I considered our conversation useful. I also asked if she'd go to a doctor's appointment with me so I could better understand what's going on. But the doctor can't speak to me without her being present. I'll try to be patient. In short, I was diagnosed with PTSD. My wife has chronic depression and partial bipolar disorder. She has a chemical imbalance in her brain. Doctors are currently working to find the right medications. Many of you were right. Her condition made her vulnerable, and a predator came along. And here are the results. Her lover was cheating on his wife with several women at the same time. Now they're getting divorced. Apparently, he got roughed up a bit. Not badly, but still. His wife contacted the husbands of most of the women he had affairs with. A friend visits me almost every day, helping me stay focused. This weekend, my son and I are going hiking. I tried to verify the truth. She wrote in her journal that intimacy felt like a burden to her. And I could see that in the video. She looked completely detached, just waiting for it to be over. I still haven't decided what to do, but I deleted both the videos with her and the ones of me losing my mind. They only caused me pain, and I just couldn't stop watching them. Part of me is screaming, "Leave, find someone else." But what if she cheats again? How can I trust her? Can I ever get rid of this mental movie playing on repeat in my head? What if, in X years, I end up divorcing her anyway because I couldn't move past it? These questions torment me, but divorce would definitely mean losing at least part of my daily connection with my son. He needs me, at least for now. He's terrified of being abandoned again, understandably, given everything that's happened. I think if I leave his mother now, it will only make things worse for him. If I can leave her in this state, what's to stop me from leaving him too? That's likely how he would see it. We've started going to boxing practice together, and our bond is stronger than ever. Being present in his life gives me incredible strength and motivation to face everything with an open heart. Right now, he's fully dependent on me, and even if I decided to divorce, I'm not sure I could go through with it right now. He begged me not to leave again. Those 2 weeks I was gone were deeply traumatic for him, and I'm not going to subject him to that again. It's impossible to say how long it'll take for his mother to stabilize and become a good parent again. And if I divorce her now, maybe she'll never recover. Even if I divorce her, the pain won't go away, the scars will remain. I'll carry them into any future relationship. I think it seriously reduces the chances that those relationships will be successful. Isn't it more logical to stay near her while I'm healing? At least she'll understand why I'm acting this way and what I'm going through. But if I do leave, what awaits me out there? Women my age are either divorced, and usually for a reason, or so focused on their kids that they don't choose a partner to build a healthy relationship with, just anyone who can play the role of a father. I feel there's a high risk of doomed relationships from the start. One side is desperate, and the other is broken. Random dates and casual intimacy don't interest me. Besides, how long would it take to find someone who understands me the way my wife did? She's the only person in my life who truly knew me, and it took years to get there. Will I ever find someone like that again? How long would it take? And there's no guarantee a new partner wouldn't cheat either. Considering everything that happened, it even seems like the chances of my wife cheating again are lower than a completely new person doing it. My son needs his mother too, and she needs to heal before she can take on that role again. The question is, would her recovery be faster and more effective if I divorced her? Or should we try to rebuild the relationship? I don't know. It's driving me crazy. How can I be sure my son is safe with her if I'm not around? What's better for me, being alone or being with her? From what I've learned here, those who rush into divorce rarely truly heal. It seems the best outcomes in terms of internal recovery happen when the person who cheated actively participates in the healing process. It takes 3 to 5 years. But honestly, I'm not sure she's capable of that right now. So that's where things stand. I'm in a terrible internal struggle. A million questions spinning in my head and almost no answers. I'm still torn between two extremes, reconciliation or divorce. I can't deny that I still love my wife. It turns out our bond doesn't break that easily. I honestly don't want to love her. My pride demands that I hate her, but I can't lie to myself. I still love her deeply. And although in the first weeks I fantasized about her suffering as much as I have, I don't want to hurt her or anyone else. That won't help me at all. I see a long and painful road ahead. I hope I have the strength to walk it to the end and the patience to make the right choice for myself and my family. The only thing I'm truly certain of, if I do decide to offer reconciliation, it won't be a gift. I must see her effort. I won't propose reconciliation unless I'm absolutely sure we're both 100% ready to take that path. And yes, if we truly try to rebuild the relationship, she'll essentially be on probation. I don't want to be with someone like that, but I simply don't have another option if I can't trust her. Either way, we'll need a lot of therapy. Maybe she doesn't want reconciliation at all. I just don't know. Not being able to talk to her is weighing heavily on me. It's exhausting. I feel I really need to talk to her. If anyone has good advice on how to have such a conversation, I'd love to hear it. Thank you all again. That's all for now. I look forward to your thoughts in the comments on this story. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Watch our previous video, which you'll see right here. Be sure to subscribe to our channel if for some reason you haven't already. And good luck to you.